Hey, what's up guys? My name is Darla and today I'm here with Sam and she's going to tell us about her chopper build.
So this is my 94 Sportster Evo. I bought it 2 years ago as a stock bike, swing arm, from this guy who lived out on the Delta. And it was like pretty rough. I got it for a pretty good deal because it kind of barely ran. Ended up being a really easy problem to fix. But when I first bought it, like this guy was like 6 foot, 7 foot tall, and it had like gnarly bars on it and forward controls, and like I could barely reach.
The V.
Yeah, the full. So that was one of the first things I did. And I just went through the carburetor after I bought it, and the diaphragm and the CV carbs just wasn't seated properly. And I just went through the carburetor, put that back, and it just ripped. I went through the clutch too, and then I ended up riding it to EDR in Mexico as it was. Like I hadn't changed anything else about it, just got it kind of running better. And I rode it to El Diablo Run in San Felipe, Virginia City, Party at the Pen in Boise.
Nice.
I put a couple thousand miles on that bike and pretty much ran it into the ground.
In that position still, like that?
I eventually switched it to mid controls after Mexico.
Damn, that's like kind of hard almost.
After Mexico, it was like, fuck this. So
yeah,
I put mid controls on it, different bars, because I did like dump it when we were like on some back roads to some hot springs. I just like dumped the bike, and it was just like too annoying.
It's a really weird stance to have control, like especially if you're like riding aggressive.
Yeah, you're trying to get one toe on the front brake or something, you know? So yeah, I rode to Party at the Pen all the way in Boise. And then we were like, I was with a group of friends and, you know, dirt biking through Nevada and Moon Rocks. And I put this bike through hell. And by the time I got home, that was 2023, and I don't know how many miles I put on it, like over 3,000, I think. And, you know, all the base gaskets, the head gaskets, like it was all blown on it. It was like, it was just time to like give it some love. I did the bare minimum when I bought the bike to have a rip in summer on it. And then when I got home after that summer, it was just like, time to give it some love. So I tore the motor down, and Duncan in San Jose boarded over. There was excessive slop in the cylinders, and he boarded over 10 thou. So I rebuilt the motor, and then at that point it was like, might as well just chop it, throw the swing arm away in the garbage because the motor's already out. This is the time to do it. And that's kind of how this happened, I guess. This is its latest iteration that it's in now. Because I had it mocked up before paint and did a 500-mile break-in run. Went to the Prowl and then a couple rides up here in Northern California, and then tore it back all down again for paint, and then I just put it back together again like a couple days ago.
Cool. So is this like what you were envisioning? Like, do you feel like you got it to where you wanted it to be?
It kind of informed itself as the project went on. There were certain things that I wanted to try that I had never done before. So like I never built my own exhaust, and I wanted upsweeps. And I built these and plasma cut this and got them chromed by Moreno's in Fresno. In terms of the rest of the bike, like I had it all together. Like it was in the mock-up stage. I did my 500-mile shakedown run for the rebuilt motor, and it was like ready to just go to paint. And instead of just sending it to paint, I cut the whole neck gusset out and put that country bar in, just because I wanted to try. Like I'd never done it before, and I was like, I want to see what's in there, because they really build it out. Like it was a solid day of cutting. And I've always wanted to see, like, I've had a few Evos and a few choppers, and I've built one other bike from the ground up, like this, but I didn't do the country bar. And so it was just like another opportunity for me to be like, fuck around and find out, see what happens. I eyeballed that and it came out pretty good.
No, yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm pretty stoked on how it came out. And I'm also like, you know, a couple bikes ago, I don't think I would have trusted myself to do something like that. But as time goes on, and like, I mean, I'm a fabricator for a living, and you know, like the last bike that I built, I had just started my welding program, and I was really fucking nervous about welding the hardtail kit on. Like, I did it with a 110 MIG welder, like my first chopper that I built. It was like a 110, which they literally tell you not to use a 110. And my first root pass was dog shit. And I was like so worried about that first bike like snapping or something that I did a rosette weld and like drilled and welded a pin through both frames. Yeah. The hardtail and the original stock frame, because I was worried about it separating. So that's where it started for me like 5 years ago. Yeah. Almost 6 now. But with this bike, it's like, it was an opportunity for me to just try shit that I haven't done before, or I've always wanted to try, just because my skill level over the years has like, I just have more confidence and trust in myself. Because I think before I would have been stressed out about cutting the structural neck gusset.
Well, it's awesome that you had a bike that you were working on back then when you first started, and then now you're doing it again now, to see like how different the experience has been for you and like how far you've come like skill-wise, and just being able to do all this shit on your own is like super cool. Yeah, it's been like a kind of an experiment. Same as like the primary covers. You know, I've always wanted to cut these back, and like, it was like, why not? I had it all apart when I was building the bike, and I didn't like, there wasn't a vision for all of this coming together at the end of the day, but it was kind of like, well, I'm just gonna cut this because I can, and why not? And let's see how it looks. Just kind of like thinking of ideas as you're going along with it. You're just like, maybe I should try that. Maybe I should try this. Totally. Yeah, that's cool. So, okay, you said what, your first build was like 5 years ago? So then how did you start getting into riding? Probably started as a kid. Okay. So I was raised on dirt bikes and racing. My dad used to just drop me off at the track, and I would go find some random family to ride with. He didn't have a bike, so it was just, but yeah, I grew up racing dirt bikes, and I got my first bike when I was, like my first motorcycle when I was like 19. Okay. This little Yamaha 550, and I rode that thing all over the place. I outgrew it pretty fast, but I started young for sure, and I definitely have my dad to blame for that. But it's always just kind of been there. No, that's cool. Yeah, like my dad is, you know, I grew up in an automotive shop, so cars was my dad's thing. Bikes has always been my thing. I'm sure he's proud to see how far you've come now from then just ditching you at the freaking motocross. The motocross track, yeah. Yeah, he's like, good fucking luck. But yeah, I would literally find some random families and like eat shit and crash and like on the course like by myself and you know, figure it out. But they're all like, whose kid is this? Yeah. Totally. And you're just like, I'm okay. That's so I mean, I definitely learned how to fall. Yeah, definitely. I never broke bones somehow, but I crashed a lot. Lucky you. Yeah. I broke my knee once and fractured my femur. That was brutal. One of the worst. Yeah, it was a hit and run too. On your bike? Holy shit. I had physical therapy for like less than a year, and then I was fine. I did have a pimp walk for quite some time, but I feel like I owned it, you know? Yeah, it just gives you more character. Yeah. But it's all good now. But yeah, now my knee, like when it's really cold, it hurts because there's like a floating bone fragment like in the middle of my knee. And
can you get more surgery, or it's just kind of there?
They said
or
that
it's like your weather channel.
Yeah, the surgery was an option, but then the healing process would have been much longer. So I was like, they're like, it'll hurt when you're old. I was like, that sounds like future Darla's problem. So, yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
future problems, deal with it later. Yeah, I had an accident at work a few months ago. I broke my sacrum.
Okay.
And similar, like, well, huge bone that's not supposed to break.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I had like a pirate leg for a few months.
Uh-huh.
Comes and goes, but
Jesus.
yeah.
That's fucking scary.
Back stuff is fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm just lucky I'm not paralyzed.
Yeah, your back is just such a huge, like so many muscles and so many different things happening in the back, I feel like.
Yeah, totally.
So, tell me about Dark Horse Moto Magazine. Like, how did it become? What's the goal? Like, when did you start planning this?
This it kind of started as an idea that I had back in February.
Mm-hmm.
So just a few months ago. And initially I was gonna make like a little zine stapled together, like some DIY, just photography zine of friends and community who are in this. Just to celebrate the people in my life who are doing badass shit. Some of them aren't on social media. They're just doing their thing.
Yeah.
Not for views, just so authentic and doing some really inspiring shit. And so it started as an idea just to make, like a small zine. And then Burn Barrel Press picked it up, which is an independent publisher based in New Orleans. They're super rad, and they like really align with everything that I think the project stands for. So I'm really honored to work with them. And that also kind of takes it up a notch.
Yeah.
Because now it's not just like stapled together, it's a published book.
Like, it's official.
It's like a book.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm calling it a magazine, but it's turning into like something a lot bigger than I anticipated from the beginning. There's been a lot of conversations that I've had with people who are like really stoked to see something like this. This new like platform for people, and there's just like the more that people contribute, the bigger it gets. And in my mind, it's like a collective vision. It's not my project or my magazine or my book. Like, it's just a platform for people to express themselves unapologetically and authentically and feel safe doing so. And supported to inspire and empower each other. I think that community is just one of the most important things. And, you know, obviously, you know, community and motorcycle culture has looked so many different ways over the years and historically. But especially now, in these times, I think that community is just essential for, you know, supporting each other. And, you know, and since the pandemic, like, a lot of things have changed, but that is still really important. And so basically it's turning into a lot bigger of a project than I had originally anticipated. So I was invited to Jacumba Breakdown in October, which is a huge honor. I'm going to have an art show and celebration of the debut of the magazine, which is just like, I don't know, when I got that phone call, I was just like,
this is so
are you kidding me right now? Like, are you serious? Like,
Ashton Kutcher, am I being punked right now?
Just to like have this, like, to be invited into a space that is like stoked on the project and open-minded to the project and the people who are a part of it. Not just like as an ally, but with open arms. And like, this space is for you too, is like, just, I don't know, like those kinds of conversations and dialogues changing is like kind of why I started the mag, even though the origination was like for me and my friend group and my community. But it's definitely appearing that like, you know, more and more people have been needing something like this or wanting to see something like this and haven't seen it yet. And so their contribution too is what builds this vision, you know?
Yeah.
And like for me, like in my humble opinion, like what motorcycles boils down to is personal expression and freedom. And personal expression doesn't look one or two ways. It's multifaceted. It looks so many different ways. And it's just a platform for people to be able to self-express in a space where, you know, we're showing people's custom builds, their badass projects, their badass skills, highlighting artists and creators, mechanics and welders. A lot of people who are going against the grain and working in trades that, you know, are usually dominated by, you know, men. So it's like, it's dynamic and it's looking a lot of different ways, but I'm really excited to see how it grows. And yeah.
I'm excited too. I want to get the first issue. Are they just going to be for sale? Like, are you going to have a website just where you can buy them, or how are you going to distribute?
Yeah, so I'll have some in person that I'll be selling at different motorcycle events that I'll be at. And then also Burn Barrel Press is going to handle all of the pre-orders and shipping and handling and it's going to be on their website, which I'm relieved by, because
that's a lot of work to like have to deal with all that stuff. So
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of that heavy lifting, which is honestly so incredible because they do design and they also help with the pre-ordering and handling and all of that. And they make it really accessible for artists and like independent artists and projects to be able to kind of like break through and get their projects out there. Whereas usually there's a lot of financial barriers and so many barriers to putting out a project like that.
Yeah.
But they really do everything that they can to make it as accessible as possible, affordable as possible for the people who are buying the magazine. So yeah, when I was saying earlier about personal expression and freedom, it's like the magazine's not a brand. You know, we're not commodifying anything. We're not selling an identity. And so it's not about limiting people's identities and, you know, their self-expression in any way to kind of fit in with the project. Like the project is more so just about, it's a platform for people to just unapologetically and authentically, you know, be who they are, basically, so.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for you. Can't wait to see it. So
me too.
What date is that it's the first issue is supposed to be out?
So Jacumba Breakdown is October 16th through 18th, I think.
So
we'll have to check on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm pumped. Pumped for you.
Me too. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. There's going to be a bunch of people writing down and a bunch of friends, and I'm like really stoked.
Yeah.
To see how it goes.
So I guess to bring it to close, I'll just say, well, thank you so much for having us here and showing us your super cool bike. Everything you're doing sounds awesome. I'm excited to see it.
Hell yeah. Thanks for coming down.
Of course. And stay tuned for next time, where actually we're gonna be at Born Free. So look forward to that video.
Oh, I'll see you there.
Yeah.